Welcome back to Donuts in Space and part 11 of the HMS daring build. Not much to go on this kit now, if I'm to be fair, or be honest, should I say really. We've done the water waves. I've put in a reasonably big wave actually coming across there, and the reason why I've done that is because the ship is kind of listing slightly to the port side, and that's because when I put it on the base I didn't actually realise that it was listing to one side until it was too late because the resin was in and it had set. So I kind of put a big wave coming in going that way, and then another one sort of, you know, on the distance kind of thing, if you like, to make it look as though the ship's just being rocked slightly by some slightly larger than normal waves. So that's it in and done. I've also used the water ripples as well, just to actually form the other waves on the kit, or on the sea there, and that's worked okay. You can actually see you've got some whitish areas all over this. That's only because it's actually setting up. That will just disappear once this is actually fully cured. It will turn translucent. Basically, what I did with it all as well was I also put the water tints in with the water waves and the water ripples, just so it will actually help blend everything in. So excuse me. So yeah, the only thing that I really need to do now is just use the white water highlight to put some of the crests on some of these waves, and also around the back end. Even though the ship's sort of engines are stopped, you're still going to get a little bit of froth sort of carrying on behind it anyway, and you're also going to get some around the side, so we'll be able to use the water highlights to kind of highlight that kind of thing as well. And also the wake that's caused by the little Gemini craft. The helicopter as well is also on permanently now. That's actually been super glued down to the deck, so happy with that. That makes the kit look a lot better. We've also got a little man hanging about down there waving his hands frantically at the helicopter pilot. We've also got a little man down on the deck there, and then there's a little man up there as well that's going to be going back into the superstructure. We've got a little man that's checking out the main deck gun there, and another little man, so I'm kind of walking up to him because, you know, maybe that little guy's found something that he doesn't like the look of, so he's getting his superior in to take a look at it, sort of thing. I didn't want to put too many figures on the outside, because especially with this type of the ship, to be fair, you're not really going to see too many figures on the outside because they're all sort of inside, really, to be fair. Especially if they're action stations, you're only really going to get people going in or going out if they're actually really needed. So that's about it really. So yeah, I will come back to you once I've got all the white frothy delightful stuff on there, and then that will quite literally conclude the build as well. So yeah, not too far away from putting the case on this and sticking it on the shelf. So yeah, I will be back with you in a second or two for you, in a while for me. So I'll catch up with you in a second, guys. Well, we're all finished now. The only thing that's really remaining is the little men in the inflatable. Otherwise, at the moment, it just looks as though it's running off on its own, and I need to reattach the bit of photo etch that goes under there for the hooks for the boat. It fell off, and I just haven't put it back on yet. So that's the only things that need to be done, really. I'm not going to do any more wave highlights on this. I think you can sort of go too far. I mean, it's already looking as though they're in sort of reasonably choppy waters. That's why the ship's listening to one side. It had nothing to do with my muppetry whatsoever at all. It's because they're in rough seas. That's what it is. So obviously these guys are on an emergency shout, because otherwise they wouldn't normally be out in that kind of weather, I don't think, otherwise. So yeah, that's that. What I'll do is, what I'll do first of all actually is, it's a bit dusty, so please excuse it, but this is the very first Seascape that I've done for the HMS Astute, and if I kind of put them next to each other, hopefully you might be able to, if I try and, oh, wrong way, let's see how far we can, yeah. So that's kind of what they both looks like side by side. So as you can actually see, the Destroyer is actually a lot bigger than the Astute Submarine there. So yeah, that's what they look like together. And what I'll do once I get the Kent built, I'll bring all three of them out actually, so you can take a look at all three of them together. But yeah, that's what that looks like. So what I'll do is I'll just get the lights turned out so we can take a look at the lights. The reason I say that is because they're so, these lights are so dim, which they should be really, to be fair, that you can't really see them with all the lights on. So I'll just get the main lights out, and then I shall get, even with this light on, you actually struggle to see the lights on this, to be fair. So there we go, we're in the pitch black dark now. Yeah, that's cool. So if we bring up the back end, you can kind of see the lights coming through there. I mean, whether you can see any real detail, I mean, you can up close, you can see the detail. I'm just trying to zoom in if I can. Oops, sorry, I'm just juggling the camera around. There we go. Oh yeah, look at that. You can see now it's there we go. Let's move the model a bit and try and keep it still, for crying out loud, Richard. It's alright, my hands are a little bit wobbly. But yeah, that's what that looks like on the inside of the hangar bay. So I'm kind of enjoying that really. I think that lighting is just about right, to be fair, and I've just done that the wrong way again. I always do, always take it too far. And then if we turn her around, we'll have to get her in. There you go. And that's what the bridge lights look like. So they're quite dim. Oh, wrong way. Whether we can actually see in and see any figures in there or not, I don't know. But you can see the effect that we've got there really. It kind of gives you a pretty good glow, to be fair. That is kind of, I think, kind of what it should look like with the just the instrument panels. I could be wrong, but you know, from what I've seen, reference pictures and photos, etc., they do kind of look like that. So that's what that looks like. So let's put that light on. I'm just going to go and put the other big light on as well, guys. So the next, well, I say the next thing, obviously I don't want dust getting on this because it's going to be impossible to dust it. So I got some perspex from the Plastic Man. Got it measured so it just fits over the base, so it's almost, so the base is kind of almost in the water really, like so. The only thing is that that's a bit too tall, but I give a couple of inches actually. I kind of overestimated how much I needed. I think that could actually come down by at least 2 inches. The base, it is quite tall. But yeah, that's what she looks like with the lid on. And then what I'll do is I'll just give you a little look at the sides as well. Let's see if I can zoom that back out a little bit more, or pan, shall I say. There we go. So yeah, that's what it's looking like down the side, and then down that side, and then obviously the back. He's kind of put his engines back on, I think, you know, just turn the props to keep him steady in the rough seas there a little bit. But yeah, quite happy, to be fair, with the way that the kit come out. I mean, I'm no expert model ship builder by any standards. I never claimed to be, and I think because there's not that many ships that, well, I say there's not that many ships I want to build. There's I think there's about 18 ships in total that I do want to build, to be fair. Most probably 19. Could be 20, not sure. But because it's not something that I'm ever going to do on a regular basis or just solely concentrate on, I don't think, you know, my ship building skills are actually going to be up there with the best of them, to be honest. And I don't think that's me being overcritical of myself, to be fair. I know as modelers we're the worst people to criticise our own work, to be honest. But you know, I'm happy with it, and that's the main thing. As long as I'm happy with the work, you know, I think that's all that really counts. But in saying that, if there are people out there that kind of build these on a semi-permanent basis, or just generally tend to build these models on a regular basis, that have got some good information that could be parted to me, you know, that would be appreciated. Or if there's anybody out there that, you know, that deal with seascapes, dioramas, that kind of thing, that could give me any further hints or tips or tricks on seascapes, and how to paint waves or how to load waves up or whatever, that would be great. I'll be happy for that kind of help. I mean, I do prefer myself to use the resin. You know, when I did the battleship, that was done with cardboard, acrylic paint, and mastic, clear mastic, with a little bit of white paint put on for the waves. So yeah, if there's you know, any other sort of hints and tips just to make seascapes look a little bit more realistic, that would be cool. The one on the Kent, I'm not gonna do it as choppy as this one, but I am gonna do that one at kind of, I think it's called flank speed. I think when it's like, you know, they've had to kick the engines into high gear to get somewhere damn quick. So that's the kind of effect that I'm going for that one. So it's going to be more calmer seas, but yeah, going at full speed. So we're going to have lots of chop at the front and tons of chop at the back and chop down the sides as well. And hopefully that should turn out okay, because I don't want to do the seascapes all the same, if that makes sense. I think it's good to have the ships, or different ships in different dynamic poses, I believe. It will be a blue base that it's going on, pretty much all like this one, but yeah, apart from that, yeah. But there you go, so that's this kit, all finished, all done, and she's ready to spend the rest of her life sitting on the shelf being looked at. But there you go. So thanks for watching this build, guys. Thanks for commenting on this build, and for liking the videos. It is much appreciated. So yeah, I will see you in the next build, which is the HMS Kent. Oh, by the way, actually, before we do knock off, this kit actually isn't as bad to build as what you think it would be, being an Airfix. It's actually gone together pretty well, to be fair. I didn't really need to do any, apart from the bits at the back here, where they needed to be stepped down and sanded down to level them off. That was the only thing that was wrong with this kit. Any other issues that occurred was because of the wiring. So parts of the superstructure on this front part, I had a bit of an issue with getting that on, because yeah, because it is mainly because of the wiring that caused that. But you know, just a bit of sanding on the inside of the superstructures, and then a little bit of sanding on the things that the superstructure goes over, and it does tend to then slide on quite nicely. But yeah, so not a bad kit to build, to be fair. It's not going to give you endless headaches and all sorts of other nasty things like that. It is actually a reasonably good kit to build, actually, to be fair. But there you go. So yeah, leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Much appreciated. And I will see you in part 1 of the HMS Kent build, which is a Type 23 frigate. So until then, thanks for watching. And as always, please do take care.